G'day folks, welcome back to the channel for part 1 of a new series of Grim Dawn. We've done a physical Archon hit thing with stick build, we're in the process of doing an Aether Pets Ritualist, and I did say I would do something else for all the people who don't like pets. Turns out that's like 3 of you, based on the engagement with the pets playthrough, but I've been wanting to do this build for a while now anyway, so we're doing it. What is it, you ask? Well, it was in the title, so it's not really surprising that it's a dual-wielding Acid Dervish. I've seen a few guides for this build, they're all years out of date, so I'm going to be roughly basing this on a couple of those guides, but generally I'm going to sort of wing it. I have actually made my own plan this time, and that should probably terrify everyone. So the usual disclaimers go here. We are playing hardcore, we are starting on veteran with no help from previous characters. No items in the stash, no bits, no blueprints. This will be a fresh playthrough, a fresh start for anyone who wants to play along. And speaking of playing along, I should mention that this build is going to be fairly squishy for the first 30 to 40 levels. I'm going to be swapping devotions around to try and offset this. If you're after a strong, tanky build that just works out of the box with no respecking, this ain't it, okay? If you do stick with it though and you make it to 100, this build is a very fast farmer, it's quite powerful, and it's good fun as well. So, with all that said, let's get underway. We are going to play Veteran Hardcore, and I'm going to name this character in honor of the first time I tried to play this one, and so it's going to be Stabby McStabby Face. Actually, no, it was Stabby McAcid Face. Okay, so here we go. For anyone who's new to the channel, I will not be letting the videos play, I will not be doing any unnecessary dialogue, and I will not be spinning the camera except for a very few times where I need to be able to see things to get, for example, 3/4 of the first level for free. As I said, this character is going to be fairly squish. I'm going to be taking different, what are they called, devotions, fairly early on, with the idea being if I can get some attack damage converted to health early, that'll tide me over until I get the relics and such that will give me attack damage converted to health. So, as I said, there will be a respec of the devotions, and I'll probably be respeccing skills along the way as well. There will be Grim Tools links for everything, you know, the usual stuff. As long as I don't forget between episodes, there'll be a link in the comments for each episode. Okay, so this is getting a little silly. Alright, so Nightblade is the only class in the game that can take a skill that will allow you to dual wield. Every other class, if you want to dual wield as like a Death Knight or, well, I shouldn't say Death Knight. If you want to dual wield as a Warden, hang on, Warden is also not a mastery. If you want to dual wield as an Oathkeeper or a Necromancer, you need to find yourself an item that will allow you to do it. So the easiest one is the Blade Dancer Talisman that was used in the Aether Pets playthrough. But there's also a helmet, and I think there's a few weapons as well that will allow you to do it. But you need to basically turn it on. And the way Nightblade turns it on is this skill right here, Dual Blades. So, straight out the gate, we're taking 1 point in Dual Blades and 1 point in Amarasta's Blade Burst, which we will be replacing our main attack with. Amarasta's Blade Burst is not a default auto attack replacer, it's kind of like an AoE that will go off if it's off cooldown, and otherwise it'll use your auto attack. You cannot use this to trigger weapon proc skills, which we're also going to be taking a lot of. So at some point in the playthrough, I will be ripping most of the points out of Amarasta's Blade Burst. We will probably leave 1 point there and max out Lethal Assault for the buff. But for right now, it's a pretty good nuke to start with, and you're gonna need it, because the Nightblade doesn't really give you a whole lot of tankiness. Although I do know a little bit more than I did the first time I played this, and this one here, Pneumatic Burst, that's a heal. You want that. Playing through Act 1 and Veteran without that heal is, well, let's just say it's frustrating, and you use a lot of potions. So just here in this Rotting Corpse is Almond's Axe. We are going to take Almond's Axe. I'll just show you where it is. This is the prison. This is the bridge you walked across. You can pretty much just follow the road straight up here until you get to what looks like a dead end, and then duck in here. So we've got one of those. We're actually going to exit the main menu, start again, and we're going to go get another one because that weapon is there every single time. Every new game you create will put another one of them there. So since we're a Nightblade and we're all about dual wielding, let's do it as early as we can. Second level, 1 point in the bar, and we're going to put 2 points in Blade Burst. And now we can kill entire groups, which is nice. So again, just this house here. This is another way to get there. There may be a boulder here. You might have to go around. It'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Just get to that house and grab a couple of those axes. There is often Rift Scourges in here, the bane of my existence, because they put acid on the floor too. So to start with, we're not going to be focusing on acid damage. That will come later. To start with, we're just going to kind of do whatever we have items for. So you can see Barrog the Bloodied. He should go down pretty quickly. Just keep an eye on your health, otherwise that happens. Like I said, Nightblade is very squishy at the start, so just be careful. You can also use Barrog's Bloodied Arm. That one looks like it's a pretty good drop. I'll have a look at it here. Throw all the white items on the floor, you don't need them. So you can see Superior Barrog's Bloody Arm of Alacrity looks like it's an upgrade for our offhand, which is also an Alacrity. So I'm going to chuck that on. And we'll continue on. If you don't find one there, if you kill Barrog and he doesn't drop that weapon, don't stress about it. The two Almond's axes will carry you for a decent amount, at least until we get to the next guaranteed weapon drop. Level 4, we're going to do 2 in the bar this time and 1 into Amarasta's Blade Burst. We're trying to get to Pneumatic Burst before we have to fight Kaizog, because that heal is going to be maybe not necessary 100%, but is definitely going to be useful. Okay, we grab the lower crossing rift, don't click on it, otherwise it'll get in the way. And then we're going to backtrack a little bit to get, I think his name is Faldus. He's got himself trapped in this house. We're going to go fetch him. So we talk to him, put your mouse at the bottom of the second option and spam click. He will end up in Devil's Crossing, and we can go fetch him later. What you could have done here as well is just rift back to this one. That's what I should have done. It's what I usually do, but I'm concentrating on blabbering instead of playing the game, which is always fun. So I want level 5, preferably before I fight Kaizog. We'll see if I get it before I get there. Usually I'm level 5 when I fight him, so it should be okay. There we go. That's Amarasta's Blade Burst doing work there. As I said, we are not going to end up using this skill for actual damage, but at the start it's a pretty good nuke, and it's really your only option aside from hold left click on all of the monsters, so it is worth it. By the time we get rid of this though, we'll have plenty of AoEs. Okay. Hopefully there's another pack here. Lovely. So Kaizog is going to be interesting. You really, 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 really want pneumatic burst before you have to fight him. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit touch and go. I should be able to get one more kill, which should get me level 5. So I'm going to sneak around him and run up here to the Devotion Shrine and just make sure I have level 5. Alright, I'm going to kill these and then, you know what, I'll take that as well. Alright, so as far as devotions go, generally most builds will take one of the tier 1 procs as their first target. So for example, Aether is the one we took on the Ritualist. I think the Archon, I don't remember what the Archon took first actually. I don't think it was a proc now that I think about it, but a lot of Death Knights will take Falcon Swoop first. Any Vitality casters will get the Twin Fangs from the bat. We are going to get the Ghoul first. The reason why is this node here, which is 4% attack damage converted to health. You can do a search for attack damage converted to health. So we could take the bat, that's got 3%, and the proc is also a heal. But we are going to get the Ghoul later anyway, so that's probably the way to go. We could also go for Guardian's Gaze. We would have this by the end of Act 1, but this, I believe, is only for the little orbs that circle around you. Your regular attacks will not do it. So we're going to start with the Ghoul. Do we have a hat yet? We don't, so we'll put that on. Are these pants better? They are not. And I'm going to put that on just for the cold damage buff. The Chilled Steel gives you 3 flat cold damage, as well as percentage cold damage. Not a big difference there. That's fine. Okay, let's go kill Kaizog, actually. Let's do what I actually wanted to get that for. I'm going to put 2 points in Pneumatic Burst, so that'll give me a 15% heal every time I push the button, which is going to be available every 8 seconds. And it's also a buff. So this is similar to Dreeg's Blood of Dreeg. So it gives us a buff and also a heal. There's Amaras's Blade Burst doing work. Let's see if we actually even need the heal. It's possible we don't. Just gonna kill the green dude who's throwing stuff at me. So it turns out we would have been fine without the heal. But that's fine. Turn the loot back on. Okay, impervious of something. Okay, this down here is the loot filter. I'm going to turn white items off and I'll keep the magic for now, but once I have a chest, I'll probably turn that off as well. First amulet you get will not auto-equip because you have a salt bag equipped, so take that off, throw it on the floor, keep it if you want. There is a quest in Ultimate that needs it, but you can just make a new character to get another one. You don't have to hold on to it for the whole game. So this is early Nightblade leveling, and it actually should be fairly smooth, but it's deceptively squishy. So we're going to get a few more points in Pneumatic Burst, a few more points in Amaras's Blade Burst, and I'm going to put 1 point in each of these along the way. This is going to be basically a WPS character, or a weapon proc skill character, and the idea is going to be we auto-attack things, and that triggers procs, which trigger AoEs and does lots of damage. It's good fun. So Amaras's Blade Burst doing work for us there. Let's go see if this guy will drop us his tail. If you want to skip this, that is entirely fine. This area is quite dangerous, and I would not blame you at all if you wanted to skip it. But it is good XP as well. 1 in the bar and 2 in the heal. You can see my health bar is getting low. I'm going to wait for the cooldown, and then I'm going to go kill the rest of these. Alright. Let's see if we can get everybody except for Puskquill to come over here. Nope. Looks like we got everybody and Puskquill. Okay. He's going to do a lot of acid damage, and I'm going to do my best to kill his friends first. This, the green water in here is also poison, so if you stand in it, it's going to hurt. Alright, let's see if we can wear him down. I got my finger on the button for a heal. I'm going to use the potion. We should be able to kill him. Potion's halfway recharged now. Going to use my pneumatic burst. And the whole time we just continue holding left click on Puskquill. Okay, potion's coming back. If you need to run away, just do. It's not worth dying. He will regenerate, but that's fine. Here we go. Use another potion. Alright, so he dropped a buckler, which is not at all what I wanted. But it is what it is. He did also drop a hat and a chest, and I don't actually care what they have on them. We are doing a little bit of bleeding damage, but that copper band is probably the one to replace. Okay, I'm now going to turn the magic items off. I don't care about ranged weapons, I don't care about two-handed melee, don't care about caster offhand, I don't care about shields. I don't really care about daggers or scepters, but we'll leave that on just in case. If you want to leave this all on, that's fine. It's probably worth leaving a few of them on just so you have more stuff to pick up so you can sell it. I'm not going to bother. It's not a big deal. Somewhere in here you will find a pile of junk, I think it is. Junk pile. I was expecting more than that. That might not be what I thought it was. It's entirely possible I'm thinking about the other hole in the ground that looks like this. Yeah, seems like. Okay. So, he didn't drop his tail. His tail is a pretty good weapon. But that's fine. These weapons will do until we can get the next ones. Make sure you put Pneumatic Burst in a place that it is easy to remember and it is easy to push it all the time because you're going to want to keep it up. So this guy here, Pharos the Rotted, is part of a quest that I haven't picked up yet. You need to kill him and two of his buddies, who are also big chunky zombies with fancy names. So he goes down first, and all of the loot was filtered out because it's magic. I'm actually going to pick those up though. They look nice. Alright, so continue through the game. Don't have any more skill points. I will say you should put most of your points into physique until you get to at least 30 or 40 points. Potentially you may need to use some for getting weapons. You may need the cunning to equip a certain weapon that you might want. If that happens, if you find a really nice weapon that you just need, a couple points of cunning or whatever to wear, go ahead and do it. It's not the end of the world. Cunning, I believe, gives you some health. It's just going to be less than physique. So, not a big deal. But the majority of your points should go into cunning, or into physique, sorry. Alright. 20% health. I think 4 points is probably enough. So 1 point in the bar, 1 point in Belgothian Shears. So this is another weapon proc, or actually, I think that's actually the first weapon proc we're going to get. This one is just a flat bonus. And, you know what? I'm going to put another point in that. If nothing else, the run speed is nice to have. So like I said at the start, I am kind of winging this. I have played this before, and it's good fun. So I kind of remember what it was that has killed this character before, and what I want to sort of focus on early on to get it a little stronger. One thing you do not want to do at this level is totems. As much as I love totems and the loot is really nice and all that, um, especially savage totems, there's a decent chance that it spawns the not the trolls, the cavemen that throw nets at you, and they will slow you down to the point where they are faster than you, so you will not be able to run away, and they will just murder you. Okay, I'm gonna watch out for their big wind-up swings, dodge away, and kill them. Probably still get hit by one anyway. Just keep an eye out for them to do their charge and a big wind-up. Should be fine. And as I said, just keep your finger on your pneumatic burst button and also your potion. You're going to be using a lot of potions early. It's fine. There's no point hoarding them. You may as well use them. Actually, we're not going to go left. I don't know why I always want to go left. We're going to go to the right. We have a big zombie to kill, big lightning zombie. So we're going to kill him. So satisfying when they come crawling out of the ground and they die before they finish doing the animation because you hit them with amarastas. It's really nice. I'm going to put a few more points into this as well. Should get some slith here. They usually have a couple of holes in the ground. Not this time, apparently. That's fine. I thought he was going to be left with one hit point and just follow me for a bit. Okay, this guy here, Gillis the Decayed, is another one of the big name zombies we have to kill. This one has a damage aura that will do constant lightning damage over time to you while you are in melee range. So keep an eye on your health bar. Kill his friends first if you can. And he should go down pretty easily. Alright, there he goes. Level 8, I'm going to put one more point in the bar, and then 1 point in pneumatic burst, and 1 in amarastas. I think I'll probably just max these out, at least for Act 1. This is going to be how we play. Now that we've killed him, we're on the hunt for Milton Hart, and I'm going to hope he drops his helmet, because it's very useful for the Act boss. But based on my experience while recording, the chances of that happening are pretty slim. He's not in this house. He's always either in this house, or in another house just up here. So if you don't find him in one, he's going to be here. If you don't find him in one, he'll be in one of the other two. So you just gotta go find him. You can dodge his attacks, or you can just tank it. With pneumatic burst, it gives you a heal straight up, and then also it applies a flat regen to you. It's quite a nice regen, especially with enough points in it. This will carry you through the early game, as long as you're not getting one shot, which is actually a decent chance to happen because Nightblade is not a mastery that gives you a lot of health for points in the bar. For example, I'm at 880 hit points and I'm level 8. And I always say 100 points per level is kind of like the minimum you want to feel safe. And he didn't drop his helmet. So we're like 11 points, or sorry, 110 points per level at the moment, which is definitely not in the safe area. typically more tankier masteries in the early levels will give you 200, 250 hit points per level. So just be aware the chance of dying is quite high. Alright, you can go into the trapdoor in this building, talk to Isaac, and he will tell you where his stash is. But if you've done that quest once, then you already know where his stash is, and it'll still be there even if you don't go and save his dying body. So I'm going to skip it, and we're just going to go fetch his stash, and we have a couple more things to do here as well. So here's the Foggy Bank Rift. We're going to backtrack a little bit, because the third big nasty zombie is here, Negan the Withered. So we're going to kill him and his friends when they drag themselves out of the ground. This will complete the quest, even though we haven't picked it up yet. I'll just back off and kill his friends. There we go. So we need to kill him. There's a devotion shrine in a cave that we need to go fetch, and there's Isaac's stash on the island that we need to go fetch as well. You don't have to go and get Isaac's stash, but it is a guaranteed... wear those. It is a guaranteed rare shoulder, and it always has physical damage retaliation on it. Really? 11 hit points? Every time you get it in normal, it will have physical retaliation damage, and it's always rare. So it's decent for your first shoulders. So I'm going to go get it. I'm going to stop in this cave here for a devotion shrine first. And level 9, I think we're going to get Shadow Strike if we have enough points to get there. Not having a mobility skill is kind of meh. The other thing in this cave, if you're interested, this body here always drops Slith Tongue, which is an okay weapon. Not amazing, but it's okay. It does poison acid damage, and this one has the Inquisitor's prefix, so it has plus skill points there too. I am going to put that on. I'm going to take it off again. If we had vitriolic gallstones, it could be worth it. Hang on, we got a mutagenic eco. Let's put that on. We still don't do enough extra damage. That's fine. I'll just leave it there. I actually had thought that weapon was a fair bit better than it is. Turns out it's not very good. But if you wanted to go poison right off the bat, I guess it's a decent choice. You can reset your client and just teleport back here and get another one straight away. 1, 2, Shadow Strike. There we go. So Shadow Strike is both a movement skill, and also it's quite a large chunk of damage. You can absolutely use it as a nuke, and that's how I'm going to use it. We got ourselves a blue gun, which is no good, and Devotion Point is going to go straight into the ghoul for basically some health at this point. Would have been nice if I'd left one alive here so I could Shadow Strike to it and speed this up a bit. Alas. Alright, so Shadow Strike is really good because it allows you to skip a whole bunch of stuff. You can use it to get around terrain. You can use it to move faster, obviously. And it does a lot of damage too. So later on we'll be turning a lot of that damage into poison, or adding a lot of poison. I'm not sure if it's a conversion. With Nidala's justifiable ends, it looks like it's not a conversion, it's just a huge amount of poison. Very useful. When we get into Forgotten Gods, we will be doing, or we'll be getting another version of this, I think. So this island here, let me just clear it out and then I'll waffle a bit. Okay, this island, this is where Isaac's stash is. It's always here, even if you haven't done the quest for it, and it will always drop you a pair of shoulders. You will not get of Oleron's Wrath every time. You could just get Isaac's Spaulders, and they will give you some resistances and whatever other stats it comes with. Right, so you get there, the Rift Gate is here. Let me just go back there and I'll show you. Rift Gate is here. This is the cave we went into. This is the island. Go get your free loot. And that's all we're doing in that area. So this is the second part of the Foggy Bank. So satisfying watching an entire screen melt like that. We are here looking for a merchant who could have been down here. It looks like he's not here. So there are 3 spaces he could be again. And we're going to head up to the second spot, which is where he is. So he's in the second potential location. I fully expected him to be in the third, but that's fine. So first location is down here, second location is on the screen right now, and the third location is off to the west. You have a couple of options when you rescue him. You can extort him for iron bits, you can just send him to the, or you can just send him to Devil's Crossing. I usually don't extort him. I would much rather have additional reputation than a few extra bits early on. Although having said that, early and then very late is when you actually want the iron bits, so could be a good choice. Alright. There's another necklace. So there is a quest to collect 3 of those. You can put them in your stash if you have more than 3, and then you'll be able to use them in Elite and Ultimate difficulty when we do Act 1 again. I've got 3, which means that I have enough to complete that quest. I'm just coming up here to show you this spot right here, just above the cave, is where you could find the merchant if he was not in the first 2 spots. Having said that, he was in the first 2 spots for me, so I'm just going to leave. Okay, level 10. There's a couple of ways you can go here. You can, if you so choose, start on Oathkeeper, put a few points in Righteous Fervor, and get Drig's Reproach to convert the attack into acid damage. The other thing you can do is not take Oathkeeper until after level 20 or so, and keep focusing on Nightblade, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a point in Phantasmal Armor, because the second line there is plus 20 to armor. That applies to, if you go to your armor rating, it'll show you the chance to take damage on each location, it'll show you the armor rating on all those locations, and that last number is the percent of that you actually get. So my feet have 20 armor, but if I get hit, it won't reduce the attack by 20, it will only reduce it by 70% of 20, which I'm pretty sure is 14. But it's less effective. However, this plus 20 armor will apply to every slot, so I just reduced every attack I take by 20 points, which does add up over time, and armor is a good way of being tanky. I'm also going to put 1 point in Nidala's Hidden Hand. You'll notice a pattern of Nidala being related to poisons, and is it Nidala's? Yes, so this particular one, Nidala's Hidden Hand, actually adds poison onto Belgothian Shears, Amarasta's Quick Cut, and was it Whirling Death? Yeah, and Whirling Death. So we put 1 point in all of these, and put a few points into Nidala's Hidden Hand, and that will give us a bunch of poison. This one, I'm pretty sure, is just all upside, no downside. -3 second skill recharge should reduce that to 5 seconds, which it does. And 40% increase health regen is just really good. So that's what we're doing at level 10. So now we have a heal every 5 seconds instead of every 8, which is pretty good. I think it's up to 20%, 24%. And I will probably keep putting points into that because it's going to carry us pretty hard early on. The end of Act 1, I think, or partway through Act 2, we should get access to the Gluttony Relic, and at that point I will probably do the first Devotion respec, which is going to cost crystals and iron bits, so I'm going to need to save a few of those. We'll have a lot because we'll be doing the Warden's Lab, and there's a ton of them in there, plus any others we find along the way. Okay, moving along. You don't have to fight these. If you're level 10 at this point, you're doing fine, and you can skip all of this. Having said that, these packs are quite juicy, and I really like watching huge amounts of monsters just get deleted. Having said that, we're actually not doing as much damage as before, which I think is going to be a weapon problem more than anything else. So Amaresta's quick cut is, yeah, weapon damage plus flat cold. Time to go shopping for a new weapon maybe. So we don't really have any particularly good weapons. I think your best bet is actually going to be shopping for them. Although I think the tail from, is it Grundlepith? I think that's pretty good as well. Or we could get Riftclaw Slicers, but I think they are sort of towards the end of Act 1. So our weapon of choice for this build is going to be Gunnar-Vakar's Sting. So we will be going straight from Act 1 into Act 7, or Forgotten Gods content, in order to get us a couple of those. You can wear them from level 20, and it's definitely worth it for this build. Although, like I said, this build is squish, and that is probably the most dangerous part of this build, is killing Gunnar-Vakar the first time or two in order to get those weapons. Okay, shrine complete. Health regen, percent health. One more shrine and we'll have some lifesteal on our attacks. We're not there yet. This guy's going to be a little dangerous as well. Just remember you can use Shadow Strike in melee range. It works as a really nice nuke. And if you wait for him to use his big attack and then immediately heal afterwards, it's probably your best bet. So one finger on Pneumatic Burst for the heal, one finger on your potion, but you should be fine. Damage is a little bit low, but yeah, it'll be okay. I think once he dies, we'll poke our head out, get the next Rift Gate, and then we're going to go shopping in town. With a lot of these, bosses that hit quite hard, usually the safest place for you to be is in melee range. For example, Warden Krieg is considerably less damage if you're in melee range than he is if you are trying to kite him. And it's the same for that, I think is a Shambler, or whatever it's called. Because if you're at range, he'll start throwing rocks at you, and they really hurt. like one-shot levels of really hurt. Whereas if you stay in melee range, you won't do it. I think 24% is probably enough. Although having said that, more total speed would also be appreciated. Lethal Assault adds cold and acid damage and also gives percent, which is pretty nice. Veil of Shadow is a buff which it's an aura that reduces enemy stats around you, and then the Night's Chill gives it damage as well, and Resist Shred is pretty good. We will be getting that. I think for now, I'm going to put 2 in the bar and 1 into, probably into Amarastas. Okay, let's do a big turn-in run. Everyone who's saved is going to want to talk to us, tell us thank you, and give us money. And more importantly, XP. Okay. And we're going to check the merchants. A lot of these rares you're not going to have enough money for, but the, say something like this, Tarnished Sawblade of Frostbite, that's better than our main hand. That's better than our offhand. That's better than both. Elemental Seal on the ground would be pretty good. That's also rare and out of our price range. Superior Club of Alacrity, plus 12 DPS, that's pretty good. Those are two-handers, so that's not really what we're after. Not a huge amount of options here. May have to, what's that, plus 8? I think I saw plus 12 on one of these. Yeah, this one here. I'll just buy that one and replace our offhand with it. Chilled Axe. Okay. Let's just sell all of this. Except that ring. That was rare. What is that? That is a bunch of health. Regen. Elemental damage is okay. Okay. I'm going to replace that one. Alright. Wonder if Graves has got any better weapons for us. He does, but I can't afford it. Plus 30, it's two-hander. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So we'll keep doing the run around and talk to people shuffle. That should have given us enough scrap. And a nice necklace. We should have, yeah, we have more than enough scrap to go and talk to Barnabas and help him with the water. And Kasparov has a skill point for me. Okay, and we will help him with his apprentice. So, one more skill point there. I think it can probably go into Nidala's Hidden Hand. This is a pretty good dump stat. Any of the other skills along here that trigger will also apply this damage, so it's definitely worth having that. And so now we talk to Barnabas. Is this enough scrap? And I will take care of the Slith. But I'm going to take care of the Slith in the next episode, because we're pushing 45 minutes here. So thank you all very much for watching. Welcome to the new series. I'm glad to have you playing along if you so choose. And I will see you in the next one. So thank you very much, and bye for now.